Chipko movement. The Chipko movement, also known as Chipko Andolan, was a forest conservation movement in India. It began in 1970s in Uttarakhand, then a neighborhood of Uttar Pradesh, and went on to become a point for several future environmental movements everywhere on the planet. It created a precedent for starting nonviolent protest in India, and its success meant that the planet immediately took notice of this nonviolent movement, which was to inspire in time many similar eco-groups by helping them to hamper the rapid deforestation, expose vested interests, increase social awareness, and therefore they got to save trees, increase ecological awareness, and demonstrate the viability of individuals' power. Above all, it stimulated the prevailing civil society in India, which began to deal with the problems of tribal and marginalized people. The Chipko Andolan or the Chipko movement could also be a movement that practiced methods of Satyagraha. Chipko type movements go back to 1730 AD. When in village Prasanna Khamkar of Rajasthan, 363 Bishnois sacrificed their lives to save lots of khejri trees. The causes of Chipko Andolan. In 1964, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, environmentalist and Gandhian social activist, founded a cooperative organization, the Dasholi Gram Swarajya Sangh, to foster small industries for rural villagers using local resources. When industrial logging was linked to the severe monsoon floods that killed quite 200 people within the region in 1970, DGSM became a force of opposition against the large-scale industry. The primary Chipko protest occurred near the village of Mandal within the upper Alakananda Valley in April 1973. The villagers, having been denied access to a little number of trees with which to create agricultural tools, were outraged when the government allotted a way larger plot to a sports equipment manufacturer. When their appeals were denied, Chandi Prasad Bhatt led villagers into the forest and embraced the trees to stop logging. After many days of this protest, the government cancelled the company's logging permit and granted the first allotment requested by DGSM. With the success in Mandal, DGSM workers and Sundarlal Bahuguna, an area environmentalist, began to share Chipko's tactics with people in other villages throughout the region. One among such subsequent major protests occurred in 1974 near the village of Raini, where quite 2,000 trees were scheduled to be felled. Following an outside student-led demonstration, the government summoned the lads of the encompassing villages to a close-by city for compensation, ostensibly to permit the loggers to proceed without confrontation. However, they were met with the ladies of the village, led by Gauri Devi, who refused to maneuver out of the forest and eventually forced the loggers to withdraw. The action in Raini prompted the government to determine a committee to research deforestation within the Alakananda Valley, and ultimately led to a 10-year ban on commercial logging within the area. Outcome of the Chipko movement. The government issued a ban on the felling of trees in the Himalayan regions for 15 years until the green cover was fully restored. It became a symbol of many popular movements that emerged in different parts of the country. Due to the success of the Chipko movement, thousands of trees were saved from being felled. The Chipko protests in Uttar Pradesh achieved a serious victory in 1980 with a 15-year ban on the green felling with the Himalayan forests of the state, by the order of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India. Since then, the movement has spread to several states within the country. Additionally to the 15-year ban in Uttar Pradesh, the movement has stopped felling within the Western Ghats and therefore the Vindhyas, and has generated pressure for a natural resources policy that's more sensitive to people's need and ecological requirements. The Chipko movement also won an award in 1987, the Right Livelihood Award, for its dedication to the conservation, restoration, and ecologically sound use of India's natural resources. The leaders of the Chipko Andolan. Sundarlal Bahuguna. He initiated the Chipko movement. He was born on January 9, 1927. Many people may know him as the defender of the Himalayas. He got the idea of the Chipko movement from his wife and decided to take action on it. Gauri Devi. Born in 1925, Gauri Devi put her life in danger to save the cutting of trees. She dared the man to shoot her instead of cutting down the trees. She related the forest with her mica. Other leaders who played a vital role in this movement were Suraksha Devi, Sudesh Devi, Bachni Devi, and Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Virushka Devi. In today's world, trees are being replaced by buildings. The greenery is gradually changing into pollution-packed states. It is becoming difficult to find a soothing place with fresh air. Temperature is rising. Global warming is already at its peak. People are forgetting the importance of ecological balance. But they need to realize that ecology is the permanent economy.